Okay. We're recording. Gonna create a new world. See what it's like in 1.19. Already, just with a staggering amount of radio silence. I guess it's not unexpected for the first recording session, but I guess I could maybe explain why I'm deciding to record Minecraft just on my own at 10:30 at night. And that's maybe a good question. I don't really have a great answer, to be honest with you. Uh, Mostly just to maybe engage my brain, the conversation part of my brain, because it doesn't see much use these days. Wow, what a depressing way to say that. I don't talk that much. But yeah, um, maybe a couple years ago, I attempted to do like a journal type thing where at the end of a day, I would, write a couple paragraphs about how the day went, if anything notable happened, um, how I felt. Try and get some data about my life, I guess. But that died out pretty quickly. I think I only lasted maybe 15 days or so. I think it just ended up taking too much time. It wasn't really that engaging, and uh, I don't know. Typing is kind of a pain sometimes, especially when you're not motivated to do so. So I came back to it and I thought, well, okay, maybe if I put a video game behind it, it won't be as depressing. And so far, that seems to be the case. I guess we'll see how it turns out. It does seem a little bit more difficult to keep consistent. Wow. Just because recording a video takes potentially a lot of storage on the computer. And of course, you have to sit down and actually play a game for maybe a half hour at a time. Who knows? But yeah, Minecraft, great game or I assume is a great game for background talk, just because really not much action going on for the most part. It can be as relaxed as you want it to be. They give you the option of rolling with a peaceful mode, so I may end up going with that, but there's a little bit of a thrill in getting blown up on like 100 meters underground. I guess we'll see how it rolls out. I also don't want to spend a bunch of time grinding for stuff if I lose it. So I may end up turning off enemies at some point. The mic that I'm using right now, which will definitely explain the audio quality, is just one that I found, just in a drawer. I feel like a lot of people have just a drawer of electronics, or of arbitrary cables and such that, they or their families collect over the period of, just years of aging equipment, outdated, deprecated, whatever. So I was just leafing through this drawer of cables, and I found a tiny little lav. I think it was used for recording audio from a clarinet. So you like attach it to the inside of a clarinet and whatnot, and it's supposed to record from there. So that's why the audio quality is maybe not the greatest. Who knows, if I end up being consistent with this, maybe I'll buy like a $20 microphone so it doesn't sound god awful. If I'm consistent, of course. Wow, I have no plans for what I'm doing. It's very easy to just blank out when you're playing games. I think it's really easy to watch people streaming games and consistently talking and go, oh, you know, I could do that. That doesn't look so hard. All they do is play video games and talk. But you start to very quickly realize that, oh, you know, I'm actually focusing so much on the game when you play it. And it's easy to forget as a viewer. You literally never have to focus on the game if you don't want to. Yeah. I don't really have much plans for the footage for this. It will most likely just stay on a folder on my computer, never to be watched. But there's a chance I upload it just to keep it somewhere. I don't know, maybe someday I get hit by a bus or something and I like leave the password to my Minecraft YouTube account, because I'm sure that'll be a great thing to watch at my funeral. Video of me playing Minecraft. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing to show at a funeral, but not the greatest either. Could be worse. I guess if I do end up posting it, I probably won't monetize it or ever look at the account, just because I feel like that would ruin the whole experiment of maybe I could journal my life under the guise of a Let's Play more consistently than I could writing journal entries every night. Oh. I was kind of torn about installing shaders for this, because on one hand, the Minecraft is really just background. Something to keep me occupied while I talk to myself in a room at night alone. So I am not completely psychotic. If you're talking to yourself in your room alone at night, if you're recording it and you're playing a video game, you're still considered a normal person, so I've got that going for me, I guess. But yeah, I considered installing shaders, but again, it's just a background game. And it would make my room just overheat so quickly. So maybe not worth it, maybe worth it. If I'm invested and I build cool things that I want to look cool, then maybe I'll give it a shot. But for now, default Minecraft looks pretty good. Good enough, at least. Honestly, it's pretty cool they just let you swap out the whole renderer. Seems like a very underrated aspect of Minecraft. I also considered putting keep inventory on, just because, you know, it takes time. If you die, you lose a bunch of time. Especially in the future. Well, if I even get to the future with diamond and enchanted equipment. That's kind of a loss of time that I don't really care to make up. Or maybe I'll just never die. Just be a true gamer. and never die. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good pretense for the series. Oh, marsh. Oh, new biome. Let's go. I hope there's slimes. I really don't play Minecraft that much, despite how much I know about the game and how much I've watched other people play it. I always get like a set of iron, get diamond, get like a basic villager setup going, and then I lose motivation to play. So maybe that's another part of this whole experiment. Something to keep me motivated to coming back to the game and actually, building things. Ooh. Sink into the mud a little bit. Very cool. It's the little things. But yeah, every time I play Minecraft, I always struggle getting sticky pistons, and it always ruins all my plans to make cool redstone contraptions, because that's a fundamental component of many of them. Oh, bamboo. I should get some of that. Yeah, so I hope I get slime. At least I hope it's not a barrier. I've already lost the bamboo. In the span of about 15 seconds. Okay, here it is. Some. Look at that, I'm not completely directionless. While I'm recording, only mostly. Something that's been relatively consistently happening over the past, maybe 5 years, is people will leave notes on my car. Ooh. That they want to buy it. And I think it's because they think it's abandoned, because I really don't drive that much. So this car just sits on the side of the road. It gets dustier and dustier. And then every once in a while it'll rain and it'll look moderately clean. And then it'll slowly get dustier and dustier until the next time it rains. And I think yesterday or the day before, maybe the 5th or 6th lifetime note about someone wanting to buy the car from me. And they're always written in, what? Oh, these are cooked. I've never contacted any of them. They always leave like, oh, I want to buy your car. Here's my phone number. I just never interact with them. I feel like that's a good way, if I tell them, no, I'm not selling the car, it's a good way for them to just text me back and be like, oh, but I'll buy it for this much money. How could you not take that deal? Well, I kind of need the car sometimes. But yeah, don't want to give out my phone number to strangers leaving notes on my car. I feel like that's a pretty safe rule to keep. Maybe I should have kept all of them. Oh my god. I'm not dead, but close. I just jumped in my chair. Oh my goodness. The first entry in my book of evidence for Minecraft being a horror game. Oh, beehive. That's cool. That just... Oh, I think that just derailed my entire train of thought. And might be a point of evidence for turning on keep inventory. Oh, yep, there we go. First death. That's not so far away. It's not a huge time loss. But yeah, there's a very strong chance I turn on keep inventory. Yeah, especially if dying is gonna derail my train of thought so consistently. Although that trick with getting the Enderman in the boat was pretty cool. However useless it ended up being. Right, I remember. Maybe I should have kept all of the notes that I've gotten over the years. And then when I eventually sell the car, just send out like a mass group chat. Be like, oh, let's start a bidding war of these 5 people that felt motivated enough to leave a note on a stranger's car asking to buy it. Because that seems very odd to me. The concept of not only being in the search for a new car, but actively leaving notes on other people's cars who you know drive it every once in a while. Because, you know, it moves a little bit. It's not always in the same spot. But they're confident enough to leave a note on a stranger's car asking to buy it. Wow, what a mess this is. Surely they would be the same people that would offer to bid on it. I don't know. That also seems like a weird thing to do. And would possibly make them very angry. And go against the whole don't text strangers. Don't reject strangers if they don't have your phone number yet. Because best case, they text you back and they're like, okay. But worst case, they just like spam your number. Or give it out to some, oh my, to some mailing address. And then you get spam calls from like the local Republican electoral commission or whatever about how you should vote in the upcoming election. Yeah, all good reasons not to text strangers. I'll just eat this. Not really worth saving it for anything. Something else that I've been trying to do recently is, at least write the outline of a book. I like to claim that I enjoy reading, but I really don't read all that much, all things considered. It's more of an occasional hobby than anything else. And I feel like whenever I say to someone, oh, I like reading, then they're going to ask, oh, what's your favorite book? Or, oh, do you have any recommendations for me? And every time it happens, you know, I don't have any recommendations ready. And it's always like, oh, I don't know. I don't have any off the top of my head. And it always creates a strange lull in the conversation. Also, it doesn't help that I haven't read a lot of super popular work. But I've always wanted to write a book. It just seems like, well, I've enjoyed, oh, my stone pick. No, it's here. I've always enjoyed reading. And surely I'd like other people to experience what I enjoy about reading. So if I write something, I can like propagate that good feeling that you get when you read. When you see like a particularly compelling story or section of a book. That's something I wanted to provide with other new readers, maybe. Get them invested in the hobby or whatever you want to call it. But it is quite a lot of work. And not always easy to work on. It's very easy to look at what you've built, maybe the world that you're starting to build, and go like, wow, you know, this kind of sucks. Or maybe this isn't particularly detailed. Wow, this guy is still around, huh? This world isn't particularly detailed, or like, oh, I wonder how the other authors did it. Easy to get demotivated, especially since progress is so difficult to evaluate. Because like there is no absolute way to evaluate it. You just have to look at what you've done and go, like, is this what I want it to be? What do I even want it to be? I don't know. It's easy to look at a book or a finished work and go, oh, here's what they could have done better. Here's the things that I would have loved to see from this author in this world that they've built. Here's what I think this character should have done. But when you start with nothing and you suddenly have to create these characters from nothing, create this world out of thin air, I guess, for fiction. For nonfiction, it is less work on the world building, because the world built itself for nonfiction books. But for complete fiction, it's I don't know, tough to evaluate when you're creating something from nothing, and you're steeped in your own mindset, right? Because maybe you've been like imagining parts of your world or your characters for however long, maybe years in some people's cases. So you have all this context around your own world that nobody else has and nobody else will ever have. That makes it... Wow, I've already lost my house. There it is. That makes it difficult to put your finger on how could this be better? What could make this better? Or what's good about this? That's kind of the corollary of this whole topic. Is it's difficult to evaluate what needs to be better, but it's also hard to look at your work and go, yeah, this is good. What I've written is good. Because there will never be a plot twist for you, the author. Because you've always known the ending to your own story, right? You're never going to be writing... I guess I can't say never, because who knows? Maybe some authors really do write improv and then are surprised by their own endings because they're all made up on the spot. But I don't see that as being the case. I kind of want to leave these two alive in case we ever get wheat in the future. But yeah, you'll never get that like thrill as a reader, or as an author, I should say, that a reader would get when they read up until the plot twist, or they figure something out, they connect the dots on their own, that something is going to happen, and that maybe some character dies or some character committed the crime. You'll never connect those dots as the author, because the dots are already connected for you, because you made the dots. You made all of the dots, so there's nothing to be surprised by. But yeah, that's the excuse I've made for myself as to why I'm progressing so slowly. Who knows, maybe putting that into video Minecraft Let's Play background noise will motivate me to keep working on it. There's also the idea that, like, if I publish it, years from now, would I even want to publish it in the first place? Or would I have this story, and not want to publish it because I don't think it's good enough? I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it's kind of putting the cart before the horse, right? Why worry about that when it doesn't exist? I think that's a bad phrase. I think the right phrase is I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Which may be never, honestly, at the rate it's going. But yeah, it's easy to read a story and think to yourself, oh, I want to write a story. This is such a compelling story that I feel like I should author my own story. And then you get to, Google Docs or whatever, and you start typing, and you realize, right, this is why a lot of people don't do this, because it's hard. It's hard, and it's difficult to stay motivated, because it'll never earn you money, right, while you're writing the book, unless you're like writing it under the guise of a Minecraft Let's Play. Maybe. Or I guess just streaming the typing process, but that would be even more stressful, because not only are you attempting to write a book, if you're doing it live on stream, that's just like, backseating in video games is tough, but like, imagine getting backseated while you're writing your own book. What a nightmare. I don't know, maybe you could pull it off. If you, I don't know, just disable chat, that'd be pretty funny. I guess we can use wood. Yeah, this all kind of started because of a serial called The Wandering Inn, which I started maybe 2 years ago, because it was free and it was recommended on a podcast that I don't remember. It was free and there was a lot of it, which in my mind was like, oh, fantastic. There's so much content here. So much time I could not waste, but so much time I could spend reading. Because I'm a self-proclaimed reader. And I think at this point, it's over 9 million words, which is quite a lot when you say it out loud. But at the same time, it's hard to really conceptualize how much that is. And I think the comparison that really helped was knowing that seeing an infographic that described that, or that compared the length of the 9 million words to other popular series. And I think the entire Harry Potter series of 7 books is nearly 3 million words. So that's a pretty big difference. I guess I can look for a cave. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll actually just end this here. Because it's been 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't have a timer. Good thing for next time, I suppose. If there is a next time. But yeah, Wandering Inn. Great story. Especially if you love reading, because there's quite a lot of it. Inspired me to start writing a book that will more than likely never be finished. But at least I can say I tried.